Welcome back, fellow farmers and friends, to Bucks County, PA, and man, is there a lot that I have to update you on with this in this episode. All right, so it has been a slight nightmare getting started again here on Bucks County. And when I say getting started again, I mean legitimately getting started again. So first and foremost, what you'll notice is some things look a little different from the previous episode. Our silo system is a little bit different. Our cow barn looks the same. Well, doesn't necessarily look the same, but it is the original cow barn that comes with the Bucks County map. If you remember correctly, in the first episode, we went ahead and replaced this cow barn. We actually put a totally different one down. At the time, the cow barn that was on the map only held, I think, 45 or 60 cows, which we said, no way. We put a larger cow pen down. We wanted to do 500 cows, is what we really wanted to do. We can now do 500 cows. Bucks County, PA got a update, which also requires a new game save. So you'd have to basically start a new gameplay in a empty save slot in order for some of the updates to take effect. So everything I had to do for the new game save was basically go into the actual files of the game. I had to move all my vehicles over to the new game save. I had to go through and do all of my field stuff again, which is why, if you notice, there is some wheat that is not harvested on the edge of this field over here. Yeah, it is because in the process of getting everything set up, we transferred amounts over, which actually reminds me right now, and you can fact check me. In the last episode, we ended the game with $94,879. I'm telling you, folks, it has been an extremely long setup process getting to this point just to where we can record this episode. So with the wheat field, what we did is we just went ahead, utilized the Easy Dev mod. We set it to harvested. We've put the appropriate number of or amount of straw and wheat from the harvest into the silo system. You can see all of our grass is currently in there. The only other place that we took some straw, now if you remember again from the first episode, we had the cow barn that had the mixing station for the TMR with the feeding robot. We had dumped 78,940 liters of straw into that cow barn, so we just went ahead and put 78,940 liters back into this one. Now, when you start Bucks County, PA with a new farmer, you do start with some cows in the cow barn. At least on this update to the map, we did, which explains why we have food and we already have 16,000 liters of milk. You'll notice, though, we have 0 animals. I did go ahead, I sold off, I sold off all the cows before we even got started. And so that way, even the food that is in here, we're not going to be using it for a while. The milk that's in here, we're not going to touch the milk that's already in here. We're not going to take that 16,000 liters, that's basically free money, and go ahead and turn it in. I mean, we could. I did learn some stuff from getting everything set up with the new game save. So initially, there was a lot of things I went in and I actually deleted off of the map. This time, I'm not doing that. We're going to leave all of our fertilizer bins, lime bins, and all that stuff. We're going to leave those standing. We got mineral feed in there. We have liquid fertilizer and herbicide as my dog shakes it off in the background. And we have solid fertilizer there. We're going to leave those on the map. We still have our diesel tank over here for the farm. And then we also still have, what in the world is this silo? I can't get a trigger to tell me what this is. What is this? I'm willing to bet you that's a lime station. Hang on, let's take a look. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. Let's find that silo and take a peek at what could potentially be in that. We have all the, I forgot all about the greenhouses and everything else that we own. Yep, it is. It's the lime station. I'm pretty sure that's the lime station. Looks just like what we're looking at. I forgot all about the greenhouses too. Good Lord. So all of our greenhouses are down over here. So if we just warp to this location, let's visit. Here's all of our greenhouses. I mean, this is just insane. This is a mammoth start here on New Farmer on Bucks County, PA. First episode, we went ahead and got rid of all these greenhouses. I think we're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing. in episode 2 here. I want to try to replicate as closely as possible some of the conditions that we had set in the first episode. There are some changes that we have made. One big noticeable change that we did make was our harvester. Ended up going with the Case 9240, slightly modified in the capacity compartment, just a little bit. We just added a whole lot of zeros to it. So now holds 1 million liters for the harvest. Other than that, though, everything else is pretty much all the same that we had in episode 1. We have all of our mowers. Like I mentioned before, we did swap the baler out. Of course, we're going with the Lizard quick bale, but we have the Case decals on it, Case branding on it, because this is a red farm. So I found that to be very appropriate to do. We went ahead and got headers that are compatible with the Case harvester. We have our Case header here. Pretty good working with 13.7. And then because we do have a corn harvest coming up, which is going to be this episode, we also needed a corn header for the Case as well. So let me go ahead and clean up all of these greenhouses. I don't know if I want to... The problem that this poses is, what do we do with the money that we make from selling these greenhouses? Because they're all going to sell for $7,500. And we have, what, 8 of them? So it's like an additional $56,000. Now, is there anything else production-wise that we want to take a look at? We do have... This is a little bit different. It's probably because we deleted all the greenhouses. It does say that we own the biogas plant. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know if I really want to get into the biogas, and mainly because... we don't have silage yet. We are going to look at, maybe with the money we made off the greenhouses, we're going to look at putting down a fermenting silo, and then we're also going to put down a TMR silo as well, so that we can just basically make our own TMR without having to do the mixing ratios in the mixer wagons for TMR. The biogas plant, like I said, I am fairly confident we might just end up selling this. $885,000? You serious? We're gonna start off with like $1 million on this playthrough now. That's a lot of money to get started with. I don't know if we should do this. Maybe we just hang on to the biogas plant for right now. I need to go ahead and get all my tractors moved. I was doing a lot of work just trying to get this grass field caught back up. The combine harvester's only out here because I had to reset the corn header, and we put it up on a header trailer. I'm not even 100% certain if corn headers are meant to go on header trailers, but we got it to work, and I'm not going to complain about it. Matter of fact, we just need to go hook up to the corn header now, because that is the first harvest that we are going to get into. So I'm going to go ahead, position some of this equipment around, and get staged and ready for the corn harvest. This is going to be the cornfield that we are setting up to harvest, all of which is going to go into our silo. Now, this episode, we got the cornfield to harvest. We got a sorghum field that needs to be harvested, all of which I think for the time being right now is going to go into our silo system. But what we need to take a look at is, first of all, I don't want to do pigs, and I'm pretty sure that this is a pigsty. Oh, it's a chicken coop. Ooh, hang on. We might want to get into chickens. So maybe we keep this. Maybe we sell this, actually, and we put down how many chickens does this hold? This holds 500. Never mind. We're doing 500 chickens. Absolutely going to do 500 chickens. Maybe that's, again, maybe that's something that we look at putting our money into. Now, the bale storage barn, I'm not even necessarily certain that we're going to need to do bales for any reason, because we're going to have the fermenting silo, so it's not like we need to do any sort of bale wrapping to make silage bales, anything like that. So the bale storage barn could probably just go away. Yep, we are definitely going to sell that for $14,500. Not the all productions mod. What are we looking for here? So this is our grass drying. So this actually will give us, if we put grass in, it's either going to give us hay or silage out. But it's $100,000. I don't know if I really want to spend that kind of money on this. And then we also just have a traditional fermenting silo for $30,000, which is a lot better of a price. I could definitely see ourselves putting that down. Now, as far as TMR, well, that's a bit of a different story. Need to actually go maybe find one on the mod hub. I'm not sure if I even actually have one. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't even know if I actually have one. Anyways, we know what we need to do, and one of those things is we need to put down this. This right here is going to save us a lot of time. It's going to save us a lot of money in the long run. We could almost sneak it in and put it right back over here, like almost right up against this fence. I don't want to put this too far away from the farm, but I also want to put it in a place that makes sense for us to have it. And I think I just found it. Is that a manure heap, or is that is a bunker silo large? Yeah, we're going to delete that. We don't need that. And now what that frees us up to do is, one, some landscape sculpting, because this is looking a little rough through here. So let's go ahead and do some landscape softening with this real quick. Oh yeah, this is going to work out pretty well. So let's go productions, factories. Let's find that fermenting silo again, which I believe was right about in here. Kind of zoom out just a little bit. Going to set this back about as much as we feel comfortable with setting it back, which is probably going to be about right in there. And we're going to throw that down. There is our fermenting silo. That is going to give us silage. Now, what we need is a TMR station. I know I have one installed. So I'm going to take a couple minutes here and I'm going to look for this TMR station, and I am absolutely going to find it. I promise. Well, all right, we made some slight modifications to the farm here in getting a fermenting silo down so that we can make silage. I also think maybe, no, we cannot make hay with that, but that's okay. We have a grass field, we have tedders. We can do what we need to do with that. We just are going to have to manage our grass balance just a little bit. So I dressed up this little area here that has that single tree in there. Well, I think what I'm actually going to do is just kind of create like a little bit of a grass island right here, mainly because this little small piece of grass is not going to go away. I don't know why that's not allowing me to delete. I actually think I see why now, because that is actually a tree that appears to be underneath the map. That's why that tree is not being deleted, or that foliage is not being deleted. But we'll just run a little bit of a grass strip out here, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll also fence this in so it looks a little nice. In order to get some TMR, we ended up going with the all-in-one production. Now, we can't abuse this product, and let me show you why. This right here does everything in the game with all the same inputs. So if you want to make clothing, it is going to require you to have fabric. And if you want to make fabric, well, then you need to have wool, or you need to have cotton. If you want to make sunflower oil, you need sunflowers. If you want to make so on and so forth, you get it. What this allows us to do, though, is make some TMR. It also allows us to make silage, but they want us to do so with chaff. So that's why I kept the fermenting silo that we currently have over here, because this will do all of that for us, and we can make hay silage, which we don't necessarily need to worry about. We are more concerned with just making silage via grass. If we need hay in order to make TMR, then we'll just tether the field up and we will forage wagon up some hay and we will dump that into the all-in-one production. I'm going to do my best to avoid abusing the all-in-one production, but I think curiosity is going to get the best of us at some point in time. And I mean, we don't own any grain mills, but we now have the ability to make flour right here at our own farm. Again, I'm mainly using it just so that we can create some TMR. That's the biggest thing here. I'm not the biggest fan of how I have this set up, but I figure for right now, until we come up with something different, this is absolutely going to serve its purpose. And it's just going to keep us moving forward here on Bucks County. We are underway with the sorghum harvest here. We do have the extended straw crop mod on, so we are going to be able to bale up some straw, which is good because, again, yes, we need it for the cows. So we are absolutely looking forward to getting that. And off the top of my head, I know I've been looking at it, but again, I'm just kind of like, my brain is scrambled right now. I cannot recall. I think we also need straw for silage. We absolutely, or for TMR, we absolutely do. So having the extended straw crop mod is definitely going to help us out because we're going to be able to pull a lot more straw than what we normally would be able to do. Again, this field here is super small. Don't really think this is going to take us very much time whatsoever. I actually would probably even entertain the idea of possibly selling this field just because of the fact of it's just tiny. It's very small. It's not really going to produce a lot for us. And there's not a way that makes sense for us to connect it to another field. Now, what we could do is we absolutely could like do some lumberjack work, and we could cut all these trees down here that divides this field from the one that is over to the right here, just on the other side of these trees. But I don't want to go through all of that work in order to do that. I think we're just going to stay put with what we have and possibly look at selling this field in the future, and then take a look at purchasing some other fields. Now, what is special about Bucks County is it does have carrots available to harvest. Now, as I have found out, maybe the hard way here before getting started tonight. Okay, you done spitting out the straw swath, thank you. Is the equipment that you need to not only harvest carrots, but to also plant carrots and do everything else has not actually been released yet. So that was kind of my dunce moment for the evening, is I'm like, how in the world do I harvest carrots? And I'm going through the whole entire inventory of the game, and I'm like, there's no header, there's no nothing that does carrots. So I finally had to go look it up and figure out what the problem be. And the problem be that the equipment to do so is not released yet. It's coming out with the premium expansion, which is set to release middle of November. Now, having learned that, when I loaded back into an old game save of Bucks County, just to kind of make sure once over the world that things closely align between the old save and this new save, I realized that the field that was originally carrots in the old save is no longer carrots in this save. It's almost like they turned carrots off for just a moment. So it leads me to believe that there's going to be another update for Bucks County when the premium expansion comes out and we're able to actually plant, manage, and harvest carrots, which I'm praying to God that new game save that update does not require a new game save, because that was a nightmare. I mean, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it certainly was a little bit. I think part of me just thinks I made it a little bit more painful on myself. I really probably have no one else to blame except for me for the issues that I was having, but nonetheless. So if we take a look here real quick, we can see here's carrots. So right now, the only crop that is kind of, I'll say, somewhat new to Bucks County is millet. We have a lot of fields that have millet in it currently. You can see the orange toggling on and off. Looks like we got like 4 or 5 fields. Rye, we got a couple rye fields on the map, which is pretty cool. Carrots, however, nothing. There are no carrot fields on the entire map. On the old save, there was like, I think 3 or 4 carrot fields maybe. One of which was field 14. Field 14 was a carrot field, but now is a sugar beet field. So I'm wondering if they're going to bring the carrots back once the premium expansion comes out and all that kind of good stuff. But that's the sorghum harvest done, over with. I'm not going to, like I mentioned before, I'm not going to hurry to take soil samples for this field, because I really just don't feel like, I'm actually going to keep this field, to be completely honest with you. I don't see the purpose of it, truthfully. Maybe replant it, maybe turn it into another grass field. Maybe we could do that just to have more grass available to make some silage and to make some hay with. I don't know. Field 61's big, or field 16, or whichever our grass field is in. Yeah, field 61. Field 61's mammoth. It provides over 300,000 liters of grass, and that's before precision farming. We're probably going to see a pretty significant upgrade, or increase, I should say, to our yield off of field 61 once we get rolling with precision farming. I do need a better place to put this header trailer for right now. I'm thinking maybe we kind of just squeeze it right into here. Trying to keep as much stuff out of the way as I possibly can. I know I have all these big barns that I probably should be also utilizing for that stuff. I get it. I'll work on it. Right now, like I said, I'm just trying to play catch up with myself after everything that I did to get all of this ready to rock so that we could start recording episode 2 of Bucks County here. So I apologize if I seem like I'm kind of all over the place. It's because I absolutely am at the moment right now, and that's it. I forgot I updated the discharge rate as well for this combine harvester. So it discharges pretty quickly. It doesn't waste much time. We're going to take the little tractor out. We're going to put some time on the clock for this one here. We're going to go take care of some soil samples over in field 61, the harvested grass field. Let me double check, make sure that we've got field 17 is already done. So we don't need to worry about that. Field 61 is all that we have left that I am concerned about. Then we need to take some time out. We need to put some lime on the harvested wheat field. We're also going to need to do lime for field 61, lime and fertilization, I should say. And I forgot that we went big with the soil sampler here. Yeah, I totally forgot about this. But nonetheless, I mean, this is going to take us literally two stabs of the soil here to get this done. Let's go ahead and lower this down real quick. And boom, there's one soil sample done, taken. Pull the map back up just so we can make sure that we have everything. Get this whole entire other section done. We're also going to get a little bit of field 16 knocked out with this as well too. And then, you know, pretty much all of the surrounding fields are also going to get a little piece of this. We almost could get field 16 completely done without even worrying about driving in it, but I'm not, that's not our priority for right now. So let's go ahead and fold up the soil sampler. Let's send those off to the lab for analysis and see what we're working with our grass field here. All right, soil sample. Ooh, yeah, that is what you love to see. Now, there are easier ways to take your soil samples. So for an example, let's just say if I wanted to go ahead and purchase the soil sample information for field 15, I could just click on field 15, and then down here, it gives me the option to purchase the soil sampling information. So it's saying that it's going to take 16 samples and then service provider costs. So it's gonna cost a total of $1,400 to have all of our soil samples taken for that field. This is extremely nice if you want to get soil samples for a field like 16 that currently has a crop planted in it, and you don't want to have to worry about crop destruction or needing to swap out your tires for narrow tires, which allow you to drive onto a field with crop that's actively growing without doing any sort of crop destruction. And then you can just come down here and you could absolutely do it this way. With the modded out soil sampler that we have, it is cheaper for us to just utilize that soil sampler and basically take 2 to 3 soils per field. You see there, it's saying 61 soil samples, and so a total of $5,300. I really don't want to spend $5,300 on having a soil sample taken for that field, so we're just gonna patiently wait. We'll do the corn harvest. We'll get everything worked up. We'll get field plowed up, ready to rock and roll, and then we'll take our soil samples at that point for that field. We're going to move over here. We're going to get this filled up with some lime. Now, I think we're going to get charged for the lime here, which is fine. Let's go ahead and fill this. Yeah, we're going to get charged for it, which is okay. That's perfectly fine. We're actually going to let this fill up as much as we possibly can with this, because we have not only the wheat field we have to do there in field 17, but we also have the large grass field. And then I also noticed that we have another field. I didn't even really realize we had another field over here on the other side of this barn, but field 28 belongs to us. I wanted to take a closer look at field 28 when this lime is done filling up, which we're probably not going to wait all the way for it. I'm probably just going to try to get to about 50,000 liters for this. But I want to go over and take a look at field 28 because it's a corn field, but it was previously harvested. So what that tells me is that field's not been probably plowed up and then replanted with anything. Oh yeah, it's right down there in the lower, or like I guess the upper left-hand corner there, just behind the menu. If I go ahead and move that. Yeah, I think we're probably going to go ahead and just get rid of that field. I don't see a need to really have that whatsoever. I mean, that's just kind of an inconvenience, unless we can expand the field. That's the other thing we should probably take a look at before we make any rash decisions, is can we expand that field? Well, we're getting pretty close to finishing up the wheat field here, getting this all limed up and ready to go for its next iteration of seeding and harvesting. Looking back on this, I probably should have plowed this field first. I'm wondering if now that we've limed and then we're going to plow, is it going to reset the pH values or at least decrease the pH values a little bit to where we may have to come back over top of the field after having plowed and reapply some lime. If that's the case, it's not a huge deal. Next time, we'll just make sure that we do things in a little bit better sequence. We'll plow, then lime, and go from there. We ended up using 32,000 liters of lime just to get this field done here. But things are looking a lot better for precision farming purposes here. If we take a look at the pH balances, environmental score actually went down. It's probably going to come back up once we do a few other things here. As you can see, field 61 has zero nitrogen, which was the case for this field in the first episode, but it does appear now that this has slightly changed a little bit, and there's actually a little bit more fertilization applied than what we think on field 17. Yeah, before, I mean, it was just completely red. There was nothing even on field 17. Looking at, I was going to double check to the pH balances for field 61. It does need a little bit of lime. So right now, environmental score, you can see here being at a 46. I think 50 is the cutoff point. I think anything 50 or higher, you actually get an increase in percentages to your sell prices. Anything below 50%, you can see right now, decreases our sell price by 1%. So we need to start getting our environmental score bumped up, hopefully very quickly, because we are going to be in the business of selling a lot of stuff off here on this farm. I'm going to replenish our lime. We're going to go over to the grass field, get that limed up, ready to go. And then we'll see if that does anything for us as far as increasing our environmental score. I would hope that it does, but I think what's really going to help is once we plow these fields up, especially the wheat field. The grass field, we don't necessarily need to plow that up, so I'm thinking we're going to avoid that at all cost. But once we plow up the wheat field, we get fertilizer put down. That hopefully is going to start having our environmental score trend upward in the right direction. Last pass here on the grass field for lime. Done deal there. Let's see, how is this doing? Okay, so we're all set with lime. Yeah, fertilization is going to be the big thing. That's probably what's given us the biggest hit right now on our environmental score, is the fact that we have no fertilization whatsoever on one of our fields in its entirety. I mean, not even a little bit of fertilization. So that's the next thing that we're going to knock out. Quick peek here. Environmental score has not updated yet. It's probably going to take us at least plowing that wheat field up and getting the correct amount of fertilization placed down on that. But for right now, we can put the spreader away for lime. We no longer need that. And then we will get hooked up to our fertilizer spreader. There we go. Nice, good working with here on the Kubota fertilizer. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. This field was in such dire need of fertilization. I mean, it was not even funny. I don't know if I've ever, in my time of playing Farming Sim, if I've ever seen a field that needed all of the fertilization. Not just some, but all of it. Zero amount of fertilization applied whatsoever on this field. That's pretty crazy to think about. But with this Kubota here, this is not going to take us very long at all to get this field knocked out. We'll share some fertilizer with the neighboring field over here. Help them out with at least one row of their sunflowers. That'll get some fertilization. And then I think what we're going to do is probably take a look at putting some narrow tires on this tractor here while we have the fertilizer spreader attached. And we might as well just go hit that cornfield that neighbors this grass field here real quick. I mean, if we can squeak just a little bit more yield off of that field without doing soil samples and lime and everything, I'm all about it, because right now that field is probably suffering as far as yield percentage that we are possibly going to pull off of there. I'm going to say it's probably going to be in the mid to low 60s, if that even. Matter of fact, let's take a peek at that real quick and see where, in fact, it is at. Oh, yeah. So this is crucial. We need to lime this field, and we need to we need narrow tires. We need narrow tires stat after we're done with this grass field, because this field right here, yield potential is 125%. Come on. Give me narrow No, I can't. Oh, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. Okay. All right, hang on. We're going to have to figure something out here because we need a tractor that can do narrow tires. Oh, just listen to how that thing sounds. Man, that is nice. I like that. All right, so testing my theory here. We should not be destroying any crop. And we are not. This is crucial for us right here. So with the cornfield just fertilized, before we even do nitrogen, or lime, before we even do lime, we went from 89% to 118%. We bumped up 30% on our yield just by putting fertilizer down. I am almost okay with not even putting the lime down on this field. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't think we're going to do lime. I think we're going to settle at 118%. And one of the other reasons why I don't want to do lime is just because I know it's going to be painful driving through this field trying to put the lime down. So I'm thinking 118% is going to be what we're going to just take for this cornfield. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna lime the field. And I swear I didn't stage this, but I stopped the dispensing right at 40,000. I'm pretty proud of myself for that one. The only thing I'm hoping... Yep, never mind. The lime wagon destroys the crops. Not anymore, it won't. All right, this should be the last little bit of lime we have to put down here on the cornfield. We might have to make another small pass just to clean up a little bit of a spot right there. Yep, we sure are going to have to do that. But nonetheless, 24,000 liters of lime later, this field is completely done, completely taken care of. And again, the bonus that we are going to get off of this field going from 89% to, I'm going to say we are probably right at 100. Ooh, 99. Well, that's because the yield potential right there is only 100%. The soil type has changed to sandy loam. But if we find an area that has loam, we are 123% of 125%. Huge, huge increase. What's that? That is a 34% increase in our yield. That's huge. Very good decision to go ahead and take a look at that cornfield ahead of the harvest. That's going to maximize everything for us. And then the other thing I want to make sure of too is, did our environmental score go up? It has not gone up yet. Well, no, it did. It actually went up too, right? We were at 46. Yeah, because now it says your environmental score does not affect the sell prices. So right now we're kind of in a neutral state. Nitrogen is the big thing, and it's probably because of field 15. That's the only field left that we own, minus 28. I'm telling you right now, field 28, I would just rather not. I really would just rather not have that field. It is 100% low, as if this decision needed to be that much more difficult. This field, though, for sure, this one's going away. I'm okay. I get it. It's all solid loam. I got it. That means that field 2 over here is probably majority loam as well too. Field 10 is probably, yep, all loam as well. So this whole strip right here, this all right through here is probably all loam. Yeah, I don't know. This little parcel down here, we may very well end up selling that. I need to go take a closer look at that area and see what we could possibly do with it. Well, one thing I can say about this field, it's tiny. Realistically, the only other thing I could really think that I would want to do with this field is maybe, again, just convert it to maybe a smaller grass field, just to have, again, that additional option. It's very close proximity to our farm. Now, the one thing I'll say about this field is it's kind of awkward to get to. So this is really one of the only areas, minus utilizing that driveway back there for the house, this is one of the only areas that you can actually get to this field. But what I noticed as I'm driving back here is look how large this cow pen area is. This is massive. And I'm thinking that this fence right here is a part of, has to be a part of the cow pen itself, doesn't it? It is. Okay, so it's not like we can delete parts of the fence and redo it, because I'm driving over here and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is a really large fenced in area. Like, if that's not really serving any purpose, then let's delete the fence. We would definitely have to do some landscape work here if that were the case. And then let's combine this into one larger field All right, hear me out. What if we sold this and put down the same exact one? Because it's got to give it to us as an option. And if we did that, that fenced-in area becomes a lot smaller. I don't know. I don't know. I think we're biting off more than we can chew. But at this point right now, knowing that this is fenced in and surrounded completely by the cow pen, I think we sell it. I don't think it's going to really service any earthly purpose to have this field here. Like I said, it's just kind of a nuisance to go around everything to get to it. This is just going to go away. $29,000. It's a super small plot of land. I think we just sell it. Bring that money back in for ourselves. We need to bale up the straw over here on, was it field 15? Field 15, the sorghum field. We just need to bale that up or forage it up and put it into our silo system. And I'm going to be truthful with you. We're going to sell that field as well, too. Well, we got that field completely foraged up. All the straw is picked up off that field. We're going to take this back over and tip it into our silo. Our tractor was not liking the additional weight of this forage wagon. I can say this hill is not going to be fun for us right here. If we can do so, we are just going to slip right through the trees right here and drive straight through. Pardon me, coming through. We're just going to borrow this sunflower field real quick. As you can see, this tractor is much too underpowered for this forage wagon, especially with 96,000 liters of straw in the back of it. We take a look here. We are going to go ahead and we're going to sell field 15. It is done. I just think it's the right call. To be completely honest with you, I think it's the right call. Let's go ahead and do it. $42,000 sold. We still own, of course, the little bit of land where our house is at. That is perfect. Now, what that almost does is it does give us enough money to purchase field 9. What is currently planted in field 9? It's sunflowers. Oh, it's the field we drove through. That's cool. Okay, well, at least now we know, which is a pretty decent sized sunflower field. We could get into the sunflower oil production at some point in time, but field 9, I think, is going to be the first one that we are going to go for. Well, as we near 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I feel like it has been a pretty solid day here on Bucks County. I almost said Bucks Run. I don't even know why it was about to say Bucks Run. Maybe that's what we call our farm, Bucks Run Farm, located in Bucks County, PA. It was a busy episode. I do apologize if I seem like I was a little scatterbrained. Again, just trying to get everything set up and everything organized to continue the series here. With the new game save that was required for the update that was done for Bucks County. Kind of just threw me through a loop as we were getting started. But nonetheless, I feel like we did have a very productive day. We have our fermenting silo down over there. We also have our all-in-one productions point right here, which we're, again, only using for TMR. We got fields all caught up for precision farming. Again, now that we've done the last few touches here, yeah, 49. So we actually went up from 48. We were at 46. We bumped up to 48. Now we're up to 49. I'm thinking as soon as we plow field 17, harvest field 16, and plow that, I think we're going to see our environmental score is going to start to go up. Plus, we also can keep an eye on the weed control. Our soil sampling's been pretty good. We're looking at field 9 here in the future. Things are they're going well. They're going well. Minus a little bit of a bumpy start to today's episode from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, that is going to do it for this episode. I appreciate all the support on the channel. Make sure that you're keeping an eye out on the community page here on the YouTube channel. That's where I announce the live stream. We also have the Misled Farms Discord server. I'll always post the link to the Discord server in the description of every episode, so that way you guys have every opportunity to be a part of the Discord server with new farmers, all the way up to people that have been playing the game for years and are very experienced. It is a community where we can share information. People are looking for multiplayer farming. Whatever you're looking for, you're probably going to find it in that Discord server as it pertains to Farming Simulator 22. And from Bucks County, PA, goodbye for now, y'all.